Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mignolaverse.com. My name is Daniel LaPlante,
Kevin Elford.
and we are here talking about our first thoughts on the new Hellboy movie. This is post New York Comic Con. How are you doing?
I am doing anticipatorily.
Anticipatorily?
I'm sure that's a word.
Yeah. So, just to catch you guys up, just last weekend we had New York Comic Con. We got a new banner, they called it, poster, I don't know, showcasing most of the major cast, our first look at them. And yeah, that's basically all the news we got for the movie.
That banner was weird, right? Like it was a kind of half picture, half
Yeah,
illustration.
I know. I forget who the artist was who did it. And I'm not even quite sure how close it's gonna be to what the final movie is gonna look like.
Good point.
But still, it was really weird. It even looked very like Guillermo del Toro-y, kind of
Did seem
like the
more similar
background,
than
at
I
least.
expected.
Yeah.
Especially the Baba Yaga definitely had a Del Toro spin.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. I didn't even realize that was the Baba Yaga at first.
Yeah,
But
well, I didn't until you told me, so
yeah, I mean,
it
I didn't
not the
until that
most
guy on
clear.
Twitter called me out on it.
Yeah.
Honestly, or yeah,
Well, yeah, I
or
had to. I put up all the stories.
yeah,
The con was we saw less than I expected, and that was disappointing. And I know a lot of people are not happy that they didn't release the trailer, which was not a trailer, but still would basically act as a trailer.
yeah,
I thought our reporter in the field, Alex, did a good job of covering it, and I think we got a pretty good idea of what to expect. But a pretty good idea doesn't mean very much. I still don't know what to expect.
yeah. I was pretty upset that they didn't release the um trailer. Not
The sizzle reel.
yeah, I shouldn't say upset, but like it's been
Disappointed.
yeah. And I guess part of that has to do with the fact that my brain's still in this is coming out in January mode, which of course it's not now. But
Not anymore. Yeah,
yeah,
that's news.
yeah. But you know, at least they did show some footage, and I don't mind it being con exclusive, I guess, because if I'm paying $40 to get into a panel, I guess I should get some exclusive stuff. So
Sure.
it sucks for us.
Alex was waiting in line for half a day. No, it wasn't that long. It was some ridiculous amount of time, like 8
Oh
hours
my
or
God.
something,
And
to make sure that he got in there to cover it for us.
yeah, and not related to the movie itself, but those exclusive prints and like the timelines. Apparently, those went like insanely fast.
Yeah.
And I want to get one of those really bad, but
So how many Hellboy fans are not currently using that
Oh.
as a phone wallpaper?
100%.
Yep. It's just the best picture.
so
Like,
great.
If we got nothing else out of the convention, that's pretty much worth
I'd be
it.
fine if they said the movie was canceled and I got a print of that.
Yep. But everybody gets one of these posters.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, very quickly, without going into too much detail, what is your general opinion on the movie so far?
I don't even think I have one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it. It doesn't matter. I saw the last two and I liked the last two. And I liked the other two that weren't released in theaters. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
How about you?
Like, part of my emotional journey through this has been up and down and up and down, because at first I'm like, I'm so excited for this movie, but then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, and I'm hearing like reports of like actors just not showing up to set and they had to recast last minute and stuff like that. I'm like, oh no,
Really?
things are going bad. Yeah, apparently like one of the side characters, like I don't know, I think it was like a butler or something, just like didn't show up on the first day of shooting.
There's a lot of butlers in the Mignolaverse.
There are.
That could be anybody.
It really could. I'm assuming it's just generic butler for this movie.
Was Daniel Day-Lewis, and he spent 45 weeks
Yeah.
in a mansion in the Hamptons getting ready for the part.
Yeah,
Pulled out.
didn't even tell everybody it was Daniel Day-Lewis. He's just
Yeah,
method
exactly.
acting.
Got the job off Craigslist. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis jokes. Those are timely these days.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey man, Daniel Day. That's my favorite joke. Whenever I see Daniel Day-Lewis, I just turn to somebody and go, "My name is Daniel Day-Lewis, and I am acting." But back on topic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, since he's out of the movie, that's off topic.
Yeah.
but
Well, I
before
mean,
you
he
walked
could
out,
be
that
in
was
this
full.
movie.
Yeah, it's
He
true.
could show up.
I heard
A-
he's playing the Samaritan pistol.
I don't know. I'm thinking Abe Sapien, man. That
You're joking, but
well, David
aside
Harbour.
from him being an amazing actor, he would make a really good Abe
Yeah,
Sapien.
he would.
Like he's like tall and long and like
Yeah.
yeah.
Although it'd be a very over the top Abe Sapien. He'd be like,
Yeah.
"What?"
How do you method act a fish, man?
Exactly. But
Live
we should also bring up that that was one of the other, I put this in air quotes, news things from the con, that while he didn't straight up say anything, David Harbour did basically tease that a surprise character would be in the film, something B.P.R.D. related, probably Abe Sapien. I don't know, but that's my guess. People are saying that he did like a lobster claw, but I wouldn't really consider him a B.P.R.D. agent. But
well, he's not.
yeah,
I mean, nobody should.
well, for like that one brief arc in B.P.R.D., he was a ghost, so that was a thing, I guess.
A lobster in a U.S. government position someday.
Yeah,
That would be sweet.
that would be amazing.
It can't be. It can't be the lobster, right?
I don't know. The lobster is the most popular non-Hellboy character in Hellboy, so
Yeah.
uh,
I,
I mean, it wouldn't
I
shock
know who
me,
you want it to be.
obviously, but
Obviously, you want it to be Daniel Day-Lewis
I
playing Sir Edward Grey,
obviously.
who went on his 45 weeks of murdering witches. Um,
For the record, I'm not opposed to Daniel Day-Lewis playing.
he could do it.
I think so.
He would make a great witch finder.
I would be fantastic. I think he would make a great Henry Hood, though.
Okay.
Just running
Sure.
around, I'm a ghost!
I would watch
I
that
would
movie.
totally watch that. Darkness
Yeah,
Calls
that would be
with Daniel
good.
Day-Lewis.
Like he starts off really intense and he slowly goes crazy, and by the end of the movie, he's got pennies for eyes.
Right.
And he's just freaking out all the time. Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
Oh, man.
So if it's a secret, non-announced casting of some B.P.R.D. agent, it has to be Abe, Liz, Johan, or
Roger.
probably Kate. No, Kate. They're not going to do Roger.
Kate, I would love it if it was Kate, because we still haven't gotten a live action representation of Kate Corrigan for some reason.
True.
But I think it's gonna be one of like the either Liz or Abe probably, but
Could be Daryl.
it could very much be Daryl.
It doesn't seem like Ben's going to be in the movie that much. I think he might be there more to set up a sequel.
That's what my brain's telling me, but there's like apparently the footage from the con was of Ben and Hellboy like getting like air, or I don't know if they said airdropped or something like that, into the battle in England or something like that. And that kind of makes me feel like he might actually just be in it for the whole movie. But I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to that stuff later on, but
Yeah.
who knows who they're going to put in this movie at this point.
So let's start going a little more in depth. So we haven't seen a ton of the tone so far, but just based off of some of the marketing, what are you thinking about this movie's tone so far? What do you think it's gonna be? What do you think it seems like right now?
My answer for that question is probably not an answer to that question, but related, which is I had a preconceived idea of what the film was going to be until we got Alex's report. And then after I read what he said about the sizzle reel, I don't even know.
Yeah,
Playing Billy Idol?
that's kind of exactly my thoughts. I was expecting, like, basically just like the Hellboy comics, more noir, like a bit more like slower paced.
Serious.
Yeah.
Right?
And like Hellboy obviously has humor in it, because one of Hellboy's gimmicks is that he just wisecracks at bad guys. But like the poster came out and it says "Legendary AF," and I'm like, ugh, that's cheesy.
Ooh, boy.
Ooh.
I hope that's just on that one poster and nothing else.
The one thing I would hate the most about this movie is if they took Hellboy, this character that I think is a very complex character, and just dumbed him down to just being like muscle demon guy who fights bad guys. I'd be like,
Post-ironic Hellboy is a bad movie.
Yeah. I don't want to see that. So
No doubt.
that's a one major concern I have. Although Mignola has come out and said like a million times that he's seen what they're doing, and he's described it as being like, like all these different themes running through. He's kind of a depressing character. So I'm hoping that is what that is, and it's just the marketing that's coming off that way. Because that does
Sure.
happen a lot where marketing, so like, oh, we gotta draw in the GDT audience with the humor. So I hope that's what they're going for.
They probably don't realize that the Del Toro fans are probably just the comic book fans in this age. It's been when did those movies come out? 2004 and 6.
2008, I think, if I remember
Is it
correctly.
that late?
I think it was.
Maybe.
Um,
Okay, so at this point, there's a lot of people that probably remember those films that'll go see them, but fans, I think, are just comic book fans.
yeah. Although I will say, like during the Mantic Kickstarter, like I saw like the majority of comments were like 60%
Yeah,
people who
that's
only
true.
watched the GDT films that were just like,
Yeah.
oh, I would love to pick up the comics, and
Yeah.
like
Well, if we're honest about the Del Toro, what do you call two movies? What's
Del
2/3 of a
Toro
trilogy?
duology.
Duology. That's probably right. The Del Toro duology. That sounds nice.
Yeah,
Any, if we're honest about those, they were actually pretty good at the characters, other than the romance, right? Like Hellboy was
yeah.
pretty good.
Hellboy was all
Maybe
right.
he talked.
Yeah, like Hellboy in the comics is a bit more laid back, but for the most part, I feel like Hellboy was the most like accurate character.
Yeah, the more I read about Abe Sapien, the more I feel like the movies didn't get him right.
Yeah, not in in the movies, he's like, oh, I like classical music, and in the comics, he's just like, I'm
Yeah.
just a dude. I listen to an
Well, at
iPod.
some points in the movies, he's like, "I'm gonna kill everyone,"
Yeah,
which is the opposite of the classical music guy.
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But maybe Liz was. I really liked Selma Blair as Liz, but
Like I think they all did
something was
great
wrong.
jobs with their characters. It's just the characters themselves aren't like that accurate to
Yeah,
like. But I
some
just consider it its own thing, and I really like it as its own thing. But I just don't. It's
sure.
not the adaptation that I want personally.
Which who do you think they did the best with in those films?
Uh, who do they do the best with? Who's that? That guy, the new B.P.R.D agent in the first film.
Agent Myers.
Agent Myers. I'm sorry, he annoyed the crap out of me in that movie. But
Yeah.
that's a running gag between me and my friend Alex. Who when we talk about those movies, he'll just be like, Agent Alex in it or Agent Myers,
Hey,
and I'm like, yeah. But
he's making his debut in the last issue of
oh
B.P.R.D. next
god.
year.
But most comic accurate. I would say it would have to probably be Hellboy, I guess, even though I don't think he's that comic accurate. I'd say his
What
aunt
about Kraus?
Kraus though in that like Kraus in the comics is more of like the lovable like like the golden heart uncle sort of.
Yeah, he's pretty
And
nice.
then in the movie he's like I'm an asshole bureaucrat or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they were kind of pulling from like that post-depression BPRD run for Kraus a
A
bunch of
little
those films.
bit. Yeah, his costume kind of
Yeah,
matches with that. I,
yeah. I guess maybe it is Hellboy.
yeah, even though like I don't think any of the characters in that are particularly comic accurate.
You're convincing me.
Yeah,
Well, let's hope they do a better job this time.
yeah,
I guess.
and you can't even really say Professor Broom because Broom wasn't even really a character before the movies came out.
Not not old guy Broom anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
No, I guess. Yeah, no, I guess all the Broom stuff came out after those, didn't they? Like
Yeah.
46, 48 is
It pretty much
what,
inspired
about 10
everybody to
years
start
ago?
writing about Broom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Which
interesting.
is great. Like that's why I really appreciate those movies because Broom's one of my favorite, like top like four characters in Hellboy. So I
You have a top four.
yeah I don't know. I don't know why I said top four. It should have been top five, but
Yeah,
my
well, if
brain
he's
wanted.
number four,
Yeah, I don't know.
so everybody knows it's Edward Gray number one. Broom is number four. What's two and three?
Probably. I have to throw.
Abe Sapien twice.
Yeah, I've seen him twice. Probably. Yeah, I love all the protagonists so much, but I want Kate Corrigan to be up there somewhere because I just like Kate Corrigan as a person.
Cool.
But
That's good.
probably Abe. I don't know. Maybe. It's a real
If I'm
jumble.
gonna buy any $150 action figures, it's gonna be him.
It's probably yeah. uh,
All right.
so let's see. Yeah, my thing just closed on me.
So what are you talking about characterization? What do you think about Daimyo being in this movie?
I like that Daimyo's in here. I love Daimyo as a character.
Sure.
Definitely, like they definitely toned down the scar on his face, which I was really hoping they were gonna go full on with that, but
You know they won't.
nah.
Well, maybe they will. Talking about how graphic the movie is, maybe they just. Well, no, because then the footage they showed would have had the big scar. I was gonna say maybe it was softer
Yeah, he could
on the poster, but
he
no.
could get it during the movie too. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Boy, that would change the character a lot.
Oh my god, yeah. It's weird to me that he's here, obviously, but and that kind of concerns me in a few ways because I hope that it doesn't screw over like a potential B.P.R.D movie or show.
Yeah,
Like I
that's probably the biggest risk they're taking here, right?
yeah, and like I want them to do certain plot lines from the show or from the comic rather, and you know if certain things happen in this movie, then they can't do that. So
I- I'm looking at the back of that poster from the New York Comic Con to try and figure out what year Daimyo joins B.P.R.D. and if that overlaps with the Wild Hunt, Storm and the Fury stuff. So it looks like 2002 is the nope, sorry, 2005
mhm.
is the Wild Hunt story, and Daimyo joined in 2004. So yeah, the timelines kind of work out, even though they did. That's kind of interesting. You figure Daimyo, not to spoil too much, but got his scar probably in 2004, so
Yeah,
could be in the movie.
true. Yeah. Um, but yeah, otherwise, I'm really glad he's here. Uh, I think Daniel Day Kim's pretty cool. I'm not overly familiar with him as an actor, but you know,
Everything I've seen him in, he was quite good.
yeah,
I think I've seen maybe 4 or 5 projects he was in.
yeah. But
So as a Japanese national at this point here, obviously I'm an American person, but I've been living in Japan a long time. It does kind of bother me that they changed to a Korean American instead of a Japanese American, but that's a little bit splitting hairs, so better than a white guy.
yeah, it is better than a white guy. That was pretty cool. That screen took that pretty well. Uh,
Sure.
but
Seems like a good dude.
yeah. Um. So yeah. Now that we're pretty much on that note, what do you think about them taking characters from different time or points in time and like mixing them together? Characters like uh why is my brain? Characters like Damio or even Broom, for instance, who's somehow alive in this movie.
Yeah, that's maybe weirder than the well, we don't know if it's just flashbacks. It could be potentially could be only flashbacks where we have Broom,
The way the
but
artwork's
if it's
looking
live,
though,
it's weird.
like they're putting
Yeah,
them
it does look
together.
like they're gonna be together. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah, I don't know.
and
It's
obviously,
weird,
just like the GDT films, they did that in there too. They took Johann Kraus and put him with Hellboy,
right?
which they've never even met in the comics.
Right.
Uh, so like, and are you pro or against that, or
I don't have a problem with it, but it does make me a little nervous.
yeah,
I think so. Out of the 4 Hellboy projects we've had so far, I would say Golden Army is probably the best one,
mhm.
and I think Kraus has a lot to do with that because I intensely love seeing him on screen. I think they did a wonderful job with the aesthetic.
Oh god, yeah, GDT, no problems there. I love the way Kraus looks in that movie.
Yeah, where that would be a fun and difficult cosplay to try. But yeah, I guess it makes me more nervous than it does make me happy that they're gonna transplant Daimyo into the story.
Yeah. Are there any other characters you'd like to see like intermingle from the comics that you know?
If it was possible to get Roger, I think Roger would be the number one on most people's list.
Yeah, yeah, I'm up there. I would love to see Roger in this.
Really, what I think most Hellboy comic book fans would say is they should have just made that B.P.R.D movie.
Probably, yeah, but They didn't. But
Well, Hellboy's the name. Like the reason the website's not called Hellboyaverse is because I think a lot of us prefer the other stuff. Like we all super love Hellboy. Hellboy is
yeah,
astonishing. I
it's kind
couldn't be happier about him. But
it's kind of like people's relationship with Batman. Everyone loves Batman, but they always choose another character so that they're not one of the people who
yeah,
likes
right. They
Batman.
don't want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I like Nightwing more, but I love
I
Batman.
hate Batman. Damn.
The
I love the cartoon. I grew up watching the
animated
Batman
series,
cartoon, but
yeah.
man, I hate those comics. He's so unnecessarily serious, which is kind of the perfect thing about Hellboy. Is he's absolutely not.
Yeah, I,
That's
I
great.
agree.
What did he say when he died? Was it just all crap like usual, or
Uh,
oh
yeah,
geez,
he did. He just went, ah, crap.
something very non-committal?
Yeah, he did.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool. Uh,
Uh,
so I mean, obviously we've seen like nothing of the casting so far, but from an aesthetic point of view and from their previous work, what do you think of the casting so far?
Boy, I have seen so few of these actors in anything. So Ian McShane is ridiculously great,
Yeah,
and I think if anybody's going to play a slightly younger Broom, he's probably perfect.
yeah.
Aside from that, he's had that exact same Broom facial hair for the last 20 years. Uh, but he's in the remake of Death Race, which was astonishing, and he was fantastic in it. He's the best character in Deadwood, which is maybe the best TV show of all time. What's
He's in American Gods right now.
Yeah, American Gods, yeah,
Yeah.
and he's just wonderful in everything, playing that angry, serious Englishman, basically, which is pretty much Broom from what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that he nails that because I love Ian McShane and I just totally want to see him nail.
Well, the twist is it's actually Daniel Day-Lewis playing Ian
Exactly.
McShane playing
Yeah.
Broom. So
Yeah.
he lived inside of Ian McShane for 45
It's
weeks,
actually a
and
meta film. It's
afterwards,
a film about the
yeah,
film. Uh,
yeah, that would be a good twist.
yeah, right. Um, David Harbour. I love David Harbour from Stranger Things, and I'm pretty certain that's all ever people know him from. So
Yeah. It reminds me of when the first Thor film was coming out. Literally everyone I ever heard talk about that was like, "Oh, Chris Hemsworth is playing Thor," and I said, "Who's Chris Hemsworth?" And they said he was Kirk's dad in that new Star Trek, and I said, "What new Star Trek?" And no one had any other references to Chris Hemsworth.
the only other film at the time I don't know, or did that come out after Thor? I don't remember. It's been a while. I just remember always thinking of him as that guy from Snow White and the Huntsman. And
That has to be after, right?
was it?
Maybe not.
I don't remember because I actually joined into the MCU late.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really care at first. So I watched Thor later. Well, I was like a freshman in high school, and you know,
Lucky.
yeah. So and all my friends were like, "Yo, you gotta watch these movies." But
They're really good.
yeah. Otherwise, like what's her name? Sasha Lane, who's playing
No idea who she
yeah,
is.
she was in American Honey, and I'm pretty certain that's like her only role really, and that was just an indie film. So this is her first studio film. So I'm excited to see how she does. Uh,
Alex was really unimpressed with her.
yeah. Oh, was she in
He,
the
he was one of I think it was only 4 people there.
oh, okay.
And yeah, it's he basically it kind of sounded like he was saying she wasn't taking things very seriously. That's sort of the impression I got when we talked about it.
Hmm.
And I think she's like your age, so it was probably her first, big group of people to be directly in front of if this is her first studio film, so she's probably pretty nervous.
Yeah. Oh, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
Especially this is a franchise that has a huge following and people are
Yeah.
ready to hate on this movie. So,
And she was sitting next to Daniel Day Kim and David Harbour, who are, if nothing else, large and big personalitied men.
yeah.
And also Mike Mignola, who seems, I don't know how tall he is, but he seems fairly small, but he's clearly like the father of everyone,
Yeah.
you know? So, like, probably she was in a weird position.
Right. I hope she does well because, I just like it when actors get a start. So I want
So
her career
would
to
be
go good.
a
But
really cool jumping off point.
yeah.
But also, let's go back and talk about that character a little bit. So Alice Moynihan, right,
Mhm.
whose entire action in the comics is to cry.
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
What did she do other than follow Hellboy and cry?
she follows him around and is just kind of like, yeah, yeah,
I'm
Hellboy, I
not saying
agree.
she's. I don't think she's a bad character. I don't think she's a weak character. I think when you're talking about
She's
action,
just kind of like a the way I was describing her was like that hip millennial girl who's just kind of following Hellboy around. I was like, I'm cool with all this.
she's very understanding.
Yeah. But like yeah, she's just too all that much. She reminds me of kind of like, I don't know if you care about Doctor Who or anything like that, but like a Doctor Who companion that follows Hellboy around for a bit. And was in that one comic that everyone likes, the Dead, or was it, no, not the
Yeah,
Dead,
yeah. The B.P.R.D. one shot you're talking about. I think it's called The Dead.
or
No, that
no,
can't be it.
the Corpse, rather, the Hellboy the Corpse.
Oh, you talking about the original one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the where she talks to Kate on a park bench.
No, yeah, she was in that too, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking, uh just
But yeah,
everybody
she's from
knows,
the
yeah,
Corpse,
from the Corpse,
which
yeah.
is probably the most popular Hellboy comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, I've always liked Alice Monaghan. I don't think I never, she's not like a particularly complex character. She's just kind of like there.
She doesn't do very much. I mean,
No,
she's good, but she's only in a
yeah.
couple of issues, and
Uh,
then it's over.
it's basically just riding on the fact that she was in the Corpse. But
I
I
I
also
almost expected her in the comics to take up that sword and kind of lead the army of the
I
dead,
actually
but
was kind of expecting that too. But
would have been kind of cool. But I guess that wouldn't have been very
yeah,
Mignola.
I do. In a way, though, I am really fond of her and Hellboy's relationship, though, because
Yeah,
like that's another thing I'm kind of sad about in this movie. They're starting with this arc, but when I read that book, that was coming off of me reading everything else in the Hellboy canon at that time. And if you read all of that, like, Hellboy never, except for that one time he was drunk in Mexico where he got married, never really
right.
expresses interest in anybody romantically. And then suddenly to see him like bend down and kiss somebody was actually like a pretty cool moment. Uh,
Oh no, you don't think they're gonna do another romance plot in this film, do
oh,
you?
they're probably gonna, but it's not gonna have that weight behind it because that had like literally what, like 20 years of build up or something like that. Like, this is just like their first film in a new
Pretty
franchise.
close.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I get like 10 years,
hmm So
maybe 12, but
I
yeah,
think that's just
a
gonna
lot.
that might detract from how impactful it is. So, and I'm not.
Based on what Alex told us, I felt like she was going to be more involved with Daimyo.
Yeah. I would probably prefer that, honestly, in this case.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
me too.
we'll see. I hope she gets more of a character in this. Uh, and from the looks of it, she is front and center on the new art. So
Yeah, they said she's going to be fighting with a stick and beating up witches, and
hey, I mean, if they give her some cool badass powers, I'm cool with that. But
I guess, I mean, we know she's magic, but we don't really know more than that,
yeah,
right? It keeps her young, and she's probably kind of tough because she didn't get hurt in that car crash, but
yeah, like,
who knows
yeah,
more?
because in the comic, all she can just kind of like sense magic and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, anyway, David Harbour seems like he's going to be a really good Hellboy.
yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it. He definitely does not look like David Harbour with that makeup on, but he looks cool as hell. So
Did cool as hell.
yeah.
Did you see the little short clip Alex put at the end of that article?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you got to go check it out. He got David Harbour to say "aw crap" and "boom."
Oh, that's awesome. That's
It's the "aw crap" is literally perfect.
really.
The "boom" I felt like was a little rushed, but that might not be a bad thing. But the "aw crap" was exactly how it should have
To
been.
be fair,
It was
he
beautiful.
he was at a con, so he was probably in a rush. But
True.
uh, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out. I'll probably try to
Yeah.
like put a clip of that in this or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, other characters that were on the poster. We talked a little bit about Baba Yaga,
Mm.
who looks pretty different from the comic iteration, but still really cool. Like,
Well, she's supposed to look horrible, and she looks
oh my
horrible.
god, yeah.
So yeah,
That's honestly kind of terrifying looking.
sure.
uh,
I mean, she's definitely going to fight in this movie, right? Like, she's not going to have wooden legs. She's going to have a stick or something
yeah,
instead of a pestle and mortar.
yeah. I hope they give her floaty cup thing, whatever you want to call that.
Pe- Pestle is the cup
Oh, okay, yeah.
part. No, mortar is the cup part. Pestle is the stick.
All right.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, she could be in that and fight with that, which would be better than. I don't know. I'm sad she won't have wooden legs. I really like the wooden legs.
yeah, I like the wooden legs too. So, they definitely did not hold anything back with, you know. So she's looking terrifying. I'm pretty excited for that. And then
Sure.
we also finally got a look at Grugak, who we hadn't seen anything about.
E- Everybody in the Mignolaverse says his name differently.
Yeah,
My best friend is from Scotland, and I asked him to give me a 100% pronunciation key on that, and he wrote something out that didn't help. So I'm waiting on an audio clip to know exactly how to say the little pig man's name. But
yeah. I say
he,
Grugak, but I know everybody
it
says it
that
kind of
makes
different.
sense.
Yeah,
You might be right.
yeah,
I want to say John on the Hellboy book club says Grau
yeah.
Gatch.
Graugach.
Grow something like that.
Yeah,
Everybody says it. Why does Mike pick names like
yeah. I
this?
know, right?
He's doing it to us on
Is
purpose.
he a character from mythology? I know like a lot. Obviously, like
I
Baba Yaga.
haven't checked.
Uh,
Let me look.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
John
Is it
Wick.
Yaga? I've heard both
Well,
ways.
in John Wick, that's what he says. The Baba Yaga.
Boy, John Wick,
Yeah.
that's a good Hellboy crossover potential right
Hey,
there. Dungeons and Dragons nope. This says a Grugach. Maybe something different is a Dungeons and Dragons elf.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's all I
That
got.
is his backstory. That he was an elf. That I think. What was it?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was a shapeshifter elf thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
got
right.
stuck as a pig for being his
Because
punishment.
he got eaten by the Grom,
Yeah, I don't remember that part honestly.
different G named fella.
Yeah. Let's see.
So they, if he's in the film and Alice is in the film, they kind of have to do at least some of the corpse, right?
Yeah, I think the movie's gonna start off with the corpse really quick.
Nice,
And then
good call.
that'll be like, then they'll go into like Hellboy, the Hellboy. I don't know.
Right.
I forgot this movie didn't have a subtitle, and I was setting it up for the subtitle.
Yeah.
um,
It's called Legendary AF. That's the
that
subtitle.
Hellboy Legendary AF. Oh my god.
And that's when a little kid wanders on screen and goes, "Mom, is that Hellboy? He's legendary." And then they
Oh my
cut away.
god. So, since they're changing a lot from the source material, is there anything that you don't mind them changing that you didn't particularly care about in the comic? Obviously, we talked about Alice a bit, but
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the Alice. I don't really like the Daimyo transposition, but I'm kind of happy about Broom.
mhm.
I would like to see more Broom.
But like anything else in the comic itself that like you didn't mind it or that you didn't particularly care about in the comic that you wouldn't mind them just kind of dropping or
Been a little while since I read the Omnibus 3 stuff, though.
Mhm.
So it's Wild Hunt, the Storm and Fury, and then the last one is no Storm and Fury's last.
Yeah. So it's
What's
Darkness Calls, then the Wild Hunt, and Storm and Fury. Which
okay.
I don't think they're doing much from Darkness Calls. I think that's just basically they have Baba Yaga in it. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that's right. She's the last time you see her for
Yeah.
the whole thing. No, you see her at the end.
No, she didn't appear. No, I think.
Oh no, he gives her the eyeball and then she's done.
Yeah, and then we just
Yeah.
see her in Koshai or Koshe, whatever, however it's pronounced.
I'm going with Kosche.
Yeah. I looked up when I first started reading that book. I looked up a You know how there's those YouTube videos where it'll just be like a woman going,
Sure.
Koshai, all right, and somebody
Yeah,
just said,
like 10
and then
times.
somebody said, Koshai,
Oh,
Koshai.
really?
So that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, it's a real Russian folktale, so
Yeah,
probably a lot of people know how to say it that aren't us.
yeah.
But maybe apparently you're right, Koshai. Okay. He's definitely not going to be in the movie, right? There's no way
I
they
mean,
do
that would
that.
be cool if they had him cameo, but I don't think so. I think at
Yeah.
most we're gonna get like flashbacks to Conqueror Worm, and that's about it. In Hellboy Mexico,
Why do you think they're going to show Conqueror Worm?
because if you look on IMDb, they actually casted somebody as Isla. I keep forgetting her name.
Il- Ilsa Hauptstein?
Isla Halpstein, and then the you know
Oh,
that
yeah, that's right. They did get Ilsa
yeah,
Hauptstein.
and then that what's his name from Hellboy Mexico? That bad guy wrestler. Yeah,
Carmonzatz? Carmon.
yeah, they actually casted him.
Every name.
So
Every name. It's got to be so hard to say.
yeah, so I think they're gonna flash back to those
Okay.
at some point. But
That would be nice.
yeah, I think it's just gonna be really brief, like that time I was in Mexico or that time,
Right.
uh, just kind of like to appease the comic fans. But
I'm happy. I'm
oh
appeased.
yeah, I'm appeased with that.
So back to your question is what's okay to change? What do we not mind losing or changing?
Yeah, is there anything you don't particularly mind if they change?
I feel like they could condense the witches leading up to the confrontation with Nimue,
Hmm.
but not well. They have to condense the parts with the witches leading up to Nimue, but past that, so they have to show Hellboy's blood rage where he's killing the giants, right?
Hmm.
They have to. Well, they don't have. They should show the Wild Hunt betraying Hellboy.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're gonna do that though now, because like I'm just trying to think of how they would fit all this into a movie. Like,
Well, they're probably going to change the characters, right? They'll probably have something like the Wild Hunt where Hellboy gets betrayed, but it's not exactly that because they won't set up the are those guys the Heliopic Brotherhood, the weird old men
no,
that seem to know everything?
that's the Osiris Club.
Osiris Club. That's
Yeah,
so they're not going to do that. That would take too much explanation.
yeah, maybe like briefly, but I don't think so. They
Yeah.
did cast a bunch of like old people, so I don't know. But
Okay, so maybe they do. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we don't know how comic accurate they're going to go based on the fact that they changed things. Doesn't mean that they didn't include everything.
yeah,
So maybe they will.
yeah, I don't know.
I hope they don't change much. That's my opinion. I would like to see like a Zack Snyder Watchmen level of adherence to the original comic, but
You know, like if they have to drop stuff, I'm fine with it. I would love to
yeah,
see them somehow make it all in there.
sure.
Uh,
What about the? Do you think they're gonna have Nimue's little Snow White pets, the hedgehog, and was that like little monkey dude that she told to make the crown?
I don't.
Was he a monkey? Was he like a man?
I don't. That was like a elfy thing. I think. I don't know. I think that might be like they showed some like little elf pixie things or yeah, little pixies in the trailer. I think that's what they're kind of going with. They're just leaning into her having like little like fairies and stuff like that. So I
Mm.
think they'll just kind of use those. But I know they're gonna have Ganadia in this.
Ganadia. Who's Ganadia?
She's that old lady who's kind of always in like the same group as Nimue, but and
Okay.
she ends up disliking her, so she's opposed to her.
Oh, the witch that turns on her. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
So for Mila Jovovich is going to be in this movie a lot more than that character's in the comic, right?
I think so. I don't know what they're gonna have her character be because, like, I like the Queen of Blood, but her character is that she's just like, I don't like things, blood.
Crazy, and she wants to murder.
Yeah, that's her character. So I don't know what else she's gonna really be doing in the movie, but
Well, they could show the whole backstory, like well, Mike described that well in the comics.
yeah,
They could show all that.
yeah, they'll probably do that. Um,
Hopefully,
yeah, I'm assuming she's just gonna walk around throwing bad guys at people.
she's definitely going to wear a lot more clothes in the film.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. um. So yeah, we're. I'm sorry. So while this poster does seem to reflect the film pretty closely, do you think that this is going to be really reflective of like the film's final art style? Because obviously the poster is really taking some like it has this weird like kind of like 70s wavy thing going
Yeah,
on.
it's got a little grindhouse flair to it.
Yeah. Um.
I hope they do.
Yeah. Like I don't even know how close the character designs are gonna be. I'm assuming they're pretty close. Because they're
Yeah.
using.
Well, it seems like they went from photos, but
Yeah. They.
it's clearly not directly from photos also, so
Yeah. Like I'm assuming the CG isn't even done for this film. I don't know if they're gonna do
yeah.
Baba Yaga CG. They haven't casted her, so I'm assuming
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's right. We don't know who she's
Yeah. Like I didn't even know she was gonna be in this movie until this poster
right.
came out. Uh so yeah. Uh I'm alright with the aesthetic. I'm hoping it's not quite so grindhouse. I would like it to be a bit more slow and toned down at times. Which
Well, from what Alex said, it's hyper violent,
yeah,
which sounds grindhouse.
I'm fine with hyperviolence.
Yeah,
Um, just so long as it doesn't always have hyperviolence. I want it to sometimes also have those quieter moments, like in the comics.
sure.
Like I just don't want it to be like 2.5 hours of just me watching crappy Grindhouse because I love Grindhouse, but I don't want to see Grindhouse with this movie.
Well, specifically, you're talking about like grindhouse action, right? Like a
Yeah,
slasher
yeah,
flick kind of thing. Because
exactly.
there's a lot of really slow grindhouse. It's just not super popular, I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm talking like
But
stereotypical.
action
Yeah,
grindhouse, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it won't be a slow movie. There's almost no chance that it's gonna be quiet.
I don't know though because Mignola said like specifically said like there's going to be times where it's like more or even David Harbour said this too that it's going to be more toned down and self-reflective and
There'll be times,
yeah,
but
as long as the
it,
movie takes a breath every once in a while and does some character
yeah,
exposition, I'm fine with that. And
the old ones did a decent enough job of that.
yeah, and I mean the comic's pretty like obviously Mignola's art style doesn't show like a lot of blood and gore, but like it is
Yeah,
violent, so
yeah. I was talking with James Hewlett from the board game,
mhm.
and basically were talking about the exact same thing there, which is especially anything drawn by Mignola, none of it is violent by way of his art style.
Yeah,
He's very impressionistic, kind of abstract form.
right.
Whereas when you get to B.P.R.D, the Guy Davis stuff or the Lawrence Campbell stuff, it like gets
Oh yeah,
pretty
because they're
gross.
very detail. Like they
Yeah,
show like all the
more realistic.
yeah, um, and like violent stuff happens in Mignola's books, but like he doesn't really show it that much. Or
Right.
yeah,
Well, spoiler for everybody, right before the events of this movie, Hellboy gets a giant Ogdru hem pincer thing through the entirety of his body.
yeah, and
That's pretty gross.
I don't remember where I heard this. I heard somebody. I don't know if it was one of the people on production was talking about the movie, or maybe it was Mignola himself. But they said that this movie is actually going to be ended differently. It's going to be open for more sequels.
Oh, so they're not going to kill him.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to do the whole thing where he's cut down the center through the whole thing. Uh,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that big nasty scar there.
yeah,
Uh,
because
I hope they do kill him though, because Hellboy in Hell would be a much cooler next film, right?
that would be a cool sequel. But Hellboy in Hell is so like drab and like melancholy that I couldn't see them
Yeah,
doing like a grindhousey kind of thing with that. I guess I could see them doing that, but I don't want that even more.
they won't. You could see him do it, but you won't
I
see him do it.
of all the things I don't want them to do that with Hellboy and Hells by far I definitely want that to remain as like depressing and sad as it can be.
Sacred cow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said before, I think generally the comic fans are gonna want BPRD,
Oh,
right? We
absolutely.
want to see Vivara, and I want to see Young Broom. I want them to do
Absolutely.
the 46 to
I
48.
want
Anders film would be amazing.
Yeah, I want my because I always think of like what my dream films to make would be.
Hmm.
1946 is definitely probably my top one I would want to make, honestly.
Boy, 1946 was so
I
so
I
good.
love that book so much.
Oh man.
So yeah, I want a BPRD TV series. I don't think that's gonna happen,
Oh yeah, like an HBO
or
miniseries or
even like
something.
Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, I mean now that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
Uh, or maybe Netflix is actually probably better at this point.
but
Yeah,
I think they would just do um a movie, because now that they're gonna have like Daniel Day Kim and stuff like that. Well, I guess Daniel Day Kim was a TV actor.
Daniel Day Kim and Daniel Day Lewis together at last.
Yeah. Uh, I I yeah, I guess he could do TV if he wanted to. I'm just saying, like,
Well, if
they
you think about the format of the Mignolaverse comics, most of the major stories are 4 or maybe 5 comics long, right?
mhm,
So 5 comics is around 100 pages, maybe 130 pages at the most, which is like a film script pre-made with storyboards.
right.
So if you're going to do a single story, like if they were to properly do, let's say, Conquer Worm, the pacing and length of that would be almost exactly plotted out for a film.
Right. Yeah.
It would be much better as a TV show, but that's probably not how they're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Too
like
bad.
BPRD so long that if they were to do everything in it, they would have to do a TV show.
Yeah.
But
Even then they couldn't possibly do everything.
I don't know. Like, I think you could knock out at least all of like the Plague of Frogs run. I think you could knock out in like a 2 season TV show. So,
Yeah.
you could
Well, if you did a TV show though, you'd have to start from somewhere, right? And if they're going to have this film as a lead in and do a cinematic universe style thing where the film leads into a TV show, they could do Hellboy in Hell as a show. That would kind of make sense. But if they do BPRD, they would have to establish so much because there's basically like the point of the comics from Hellboy to BPRD where the main story really continues.
mhm.
It's not the Wild Hunt. He's gone,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty much Conqueror Worm into BPRD.
Yeah. Also, there's the thing
So,
that in this movie, it seems that Hellboy stayed with the BPRD instead of
oh
leaving.
yeah, that's right.
So I don't even know. But
Yeah, that's weird.
it's so weird. I have no idea what they would do.
Agent Alice.
Yeah. Agent Al. So,
Actually, Agent Alice would be kind of a good idea. Why didn't they do that in the comics?
yeah, really. Uh, they could have had
Hmm.
her join back in at the end.
Yeah.
So before we go, since we haven't gotten the trailer yet, are you expecting us to get the trailer soon, or are you expecting us to have to wait like another couple months?
I would say yes, but since it's not technically a trailer, maybe we won't.
Oh yeah, you're saying for that footage.
Yeah, oh, you mean a trailer in
Yeah,
general, not
just
the one from NYCC?
yeah.
No, I think they're gonna wait.
I see. I want them to release it around Halloween time. What company's
Uh,
making Halloween 2?
Lionsgate?
Is that this? I don't know who's producing this film.
I'm not positive.
I totally forget.
I think the original Hellboy stuff was Lionsgate.
Yeah, but this is a new distributor, I think, because I remember they weren't picked up for a while.
Right.
Um,
Uh, Halloween 2. I don't see it.
yeah, I mean, it's
Sorry.
not necessarily keeping them from releasing it with Halloween 2 anyways. I'm just saying it would be a better chance of them releasing it with that movie.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably right.
Uh, I just feel like that would be a good like point to release it to tie in with the Halloween hype. Um,
Yeah. Oh, it's Universal.
Universal.
Halloween 2 is Universal.
Oh, okay.
Universal and Blumhouse, apparently. Boy, Blumhouse has just got their fingers in everything.
Yeah. Oh man, I just watched um uh Truth or Dare the other day for
Okay.
our annual crappy Halloween movie.
Starting early, man. You still got like almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, we my friends and I try to at least watch one terrible horror movie every year around Halloween time, and that was this year's.
It's a good tradition.
Yeah.
Hellboy is being distributed by Lionsgate and VVS.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
So we still could see a trailer with it. It might not be that likely, but
The timing you're talking about makes sense, even if it's not tied. I mean, it's not going to be tied to the Halloween film, but the Halloween holiday
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So I could see it being released with something then.
Sure.
If not, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they wait till after December for Oscar buzz to be kind of over. Um,
Mm.
so it doesn't like get washed out or anything like that. So finally, obviously there's a lot we haven't seen so far. Um, but is there anything that we don't know of yet that you would like to see added into this movie? Like whether it's in the new trailer or like just in general?
Well, aside from the Abe Sapien solo movie starring Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm very much hoping that we get to see a lot more B.P.R.D. than we are expecting right now.
Right. So yeah.
If Abe's not in this movie, I'm going to be sad.
He
If Kate Corrigan's not in this movie, I'm going to be sad.
See, the thing is that Abe was initially in the movie at the beginning. They announced him for it. Then they said he won't be in the movie. So now I'm
Mm.
wondering if they just did that to make him a surprise or if he's legit just not in the movie and they're going to have a different BPRD agent. But
If they have other B.P.R.D. agents, we don't even know if Daimyo is going to be the same Daimyo, right?
yeah, no, not really. We just know that he's in the movie.
Yeah, he could be pre-curse. We call that a curse.
Oh no, they did confirm that he has the Jaguar curse
Where,
or what do
yeah,
they call it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where Jaguar
Yeah. They confirmed that straight up.
lycanthropy. I don't know the Latin
Yeah.
genus for jaguar.
In the comic, it's called
Uh,
like the God of the Jaguars or something like that. I forget, or God of the Cheetah. I don't know. I don't remember.
do you think we're gonna see Crimson Lotus somehow?
I don't think we'll see Crimson Lotus. Maybe we'll see. I'm assuming we'll have brief mentioning of certain characters that they'll just say their names, like, that incident in 1947.
Like the way they did Roger in the first Hellboy with the 2 seconds of screen time or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think we're gonna strictly get those characters showing up on screen, but I think they'll do some stuff so that when they do expand the universe, they'll have stuff to tie into.
Yeah. Well, do you think this is definitely a lead up to something more?
I mean, Mignola's been very like he interview straight up said, "I want to do an expanded universe." Like basically exact sentence.
So not to be crass, I don't think this is why he's doing it, but he must make 10 times more money being a producer on a film than he ever has from comic books,
Oh,
right?
1000%. Like
Yeah.
because the
So
Hellboy
good for
comics are
him. I mean,
like the Hellboy comics are popular, but like I'm pretty certain he
but
made
all comics don't make money.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain he's still just living off of royalties from Hellboy too.
Well, he's super veteran now. I mean, he can, he's got that Picasso draw on a napkin to pay for his food at a restaurant
Yeah, he just goes
kind
to
of
a
quality,
con
right?
and charges people like $100 to draw like a little picture of Hellboy.
Does he?
Yeah, I mean, like tons of people.
I've only been to 2 comic book conventions ever, so wouldn't say I know very much
I've
about
only
them.
been to one, and it was on the worst
Eh,
day of it, so I
okay.
don't even count that as going. But
Anyway, regardless of why, I'm happy that he's gonna try and make a cinematic universe out of it. And I think what you're saying about a BPRD TV series would be the best possible
yeah,
outcome.
I just don't think they're gonna do that. But I want that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Netflix is throwing around a lot of money, and they never really did get that like Game of Thrones counter programming that they
that's
want.
true.
So
That is really true. So that
BPRD is a sweeping, gargantuan epic at this
yeah, I
point.
think B.P.R.D is more popular than Hellboy. I'd honestly say so, or like
Well, I mean,
among comic
he was
fans.
gone for so long.
Yeah,
You mean now, or you mean ever?
like I would say like in the comic community, not just like in the general community, but as like comic fans go, I think like a lot more people read B.P.R.D than like Hellboy in general. So
I like being sad, so yeah, I love BPRD
yeah,
more.
yeah, exactly. I love having my heart destroyed.
Hmm.
Cool.
Hmm.
Well, any final thoughts? Anything you're hoping to see when the trailer does come out? Like specific? Yeah,
I would be very excited to see a 1 second clip of Daimyo getting his face cut off, and I would be slightly more excited to see a 1 second clip of Daryl jumping at a werepanther uh, in mortal
I
battle.
would love to see that. Uh,
We won't. We won't see either of those. There's no way.
I mean, all I want to see is just proof that the film's not going to be straight up just like, yeah, radical Hellboy. So like,
Well, trailer's probably not going to give you that because
it's
if it's going
not.
to be yeah, shit, bro, it's going to be in the trailer.
Yeah, they're gonna market it like that for sure. But yeah. Any final thoughts?
I keep going up and down the way you mentioned before, where when they first said there's going to be a new Hellboy movie, I said I couldn't be happier. And then everything started to trickle out, and I said, oh, this doesn't look cool. This looks a little weird. I don't know why they did that. But then after reading Alex's review specifically of the sizzle reel, and I don't even know, like, I can't pinpoint why, but he said, it looked like Hellboy falling out of the Baba Yaga's house onto some snow. That is not a scene from any comic that I'm aware of. It sounds very interesting, and I'm really excited to see what they do with that.
Falling out of the Baba Yaga's house from some snow. I
He was inferring, but that's what he said it looked like.
that
So
I think that's from Darkness Calls, right? That
was he ever in a chicken house?
I
He was definitely in Russia or the whatever fictional Russia of Baba Yaga's childhood or whatever that's
yeah.
supposed to be.
I don't shoot. It's been a while since I've read Darkness
And
Calls.
it was snowy,
You know,
but
yeah, definitely snowy. But I think I know he went into that little bar or inn or something like that where he like had the conversation with like the devil in the fireplace. But
yeah. But that wasn't Baba Yaga's house. That was
no,
just a house.
yeah, I feel like he did go to Baba Yaga's house or something like that. In that
I think he went to that like tree or whatever it is that they all hang around.
yeah, you're
So
right.
he might have been inside her
Little
house, but
hut.
I don't think he was. We probably should have checked this before we
Yeah, really.
recorded. It sounds like the stuff that they're adding is interesting. I don't like the idea of Alice being a ass kicking superhero, but it's possible that it could be cool.
Yeah,
And I don't like that we get Daimyo and none of the other BPRD guys, because Daimyo's whole character is how he interacts with,
1000%.
especially with how he interacts with Johan and Roger.
Yeah, you need to put some pants on that guy. You put pants
Yeah,
on.
God. Oh, if we had that
Yeah.
scene in the movie, if it was a terrible movie and we had the Roger wearing pants scene, I would be
Look, normally in
Oscar.
the comic, Hellboy just wears like those super short shorts. Uh,
Mhm.
he could do that to Hellboy and be like, "We need to get some pants on this guy,"
Yeah, that's not a
because
bad.
he is wearing pants now.
True. That's good fan service.
That would be it.
I like most fan service, but I think that's good fan service.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Before we go, I don't know when this video is going to go up, but if it's soon, and hopefully we can put it up maybe next week or something, we're about to announce our first ever Mignolaverse giveaway, where superstar ending the run of BPRD himself, Lawrence Campbell, has sent us a few of his handmated. Mated is a very English word. You haven't heard of it. They say it in Canada a lot, but um, when we have our first giveaway coming up next week, and hopefully everyone can participate in that.
yeah, pretty excited for that. Lawrence Campbell's one of my all-time favorite artists, so very stoked for that.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Well, guys, you can find us at Mignolaverse.com. Have it, sorry. That's
I do it all the time too because you have to spell it out because Mignolaverse is not really a word.
yeah,
So even though it's his, yeah, you gotta.
yeah. So that's MIGNOLAVERSE.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Mignola News, MIGNOLANEWS. And on Facebook, Mignolaverse. And
And the B.P.R.D. News Network is our offshoot Facebook group.
yeah, so you can join in on that. Where everybody's always posting stuff in that, not just us. Just a big fan group.
Yeah, it's getting a good momentum over
Yeah,
there.
I like it. It's really fun. So yeah.
And make sure you listen to our partner podcast, the Hellboy Book Club, which should release every Tuesday, but sometimes they're a little bit late, but generally every Tuesday.
Yeah.
They won't be covering the film until film time. So if you're here for film only and you don't know about the comic books, probably not for you.
Yeah, but
it's a good podcast.
It's a really good
they have
podcast. I love them.
A great amount of insight.
Yeah.
The research they do blows my mind.
Yeah, they 1000% deserve more viewers than they get. So
totally.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter at Dan is a plant. And yeah. So well, hopefully we'll get some more news soon and we'll be back talking about more at some point.
My red body is ready.
Yep. See you guys. Good night.
Bye.